So the other day I was coming home from a couple of meetings and running around town, and I decided to just stop for some fast food. Well, really more tacos, because I don't really eat a lot of fast food, but I do like me some tacos. And so I stopped at this local, well-known, well-established California corporate taco place. And anything in a pinch, right? I didn't have a lot of time, needed to get in, get out. I knew I was going to regret the decision later, but I still went ahead and did it. And as I ordered my tacos and I got to pay the window, I was outrageous. I mean, it was like $35 for a bunch of tacos, and I thought, what the fuck? How is this possible? And I started getting into that mindset that everybody gets into about, the prices are too damn high, and the things shouldn't be this expensive. And I mean, honestly, they are tacos, so they shouldn't be that expensive, right? Like, I mean, seriously, it's a taco. And, it was one of those decisions that I came to regret later for a number of reasons. One, because they're not great tacos. I'm paying premium prices for something that's not the best in the world. I've had better tacos, much better tacos at much better places. But it got me thinking about all of this thing about the prices being too high and what's going on. And the prices seem to be outrageous, and we can't really seem to make ends meet, and things just seem to be out of control as far as money and things for people. And that got me thinking about things, and that's never a good thing, right? When I start thinking, it's never, ever, ever a good thing. There is always problems on the horizon. And there are a million and one reasons why prices are crazy, why they're through the roof, and why we're paying more than we think we should, all right? And let's just, for argument's sake, let's just chalk it up to reasons. It's not really important for the conversation that we're going to be having here, but there are reasons, all right? And let's just leave it at that. But there are two things that I do want to, two reasons that I do want to address and talk about that directly impact and affect everything that we're going to be talking about in this video, all right? And the first one is, we are, whether we want to admit it or not, we are dealing with unprecedented climate change. The climate is changing. It seems, especially in Southern California, the winters are starting a little later and they're going a little later, and things, it's really weird. And the problem is it's causing problems with growing. So if you've heard recently that sriracha sauce is going to be really hard to get because the peppers weren't growing in time, they're not ripening enough, ergo problems with getting sriracha sauce, all right? And that goes for any ingredient out there. I'm sure tomatoes are probably on that list. I'm sure there's a million and one things where we're having problems growing the things that we need to make things like tacos, all right? That's number one problem. That's an issue. That's not one we can solve, all right? That's going to be a constant issue for the rest of our lives. We're going to have to deal with these kinds of price increases. So in regards to those, we're just going to have to suck it up, I guess, right? Like, there's nothing we can do about it. What am I going to do? Get out there and be like Storm from the X-Men and make it rain and change the sriracha peppers? It's not going to happen, right? We're just going to have to suck it up. Now, number two, and the one that's most important to us, and the one that I'm always kind of harping on when it comes to these things, is whether we want to admit it or not, and there are quite a few people who do not want to admit it, there is major price gouging going on, all right? We have all been victims of shrinkflation. We've all been like I went to get, I think it was a bag of chips the other day for a sandwich, and I opened the bag, and I swear there were like 3 chips in there. I mean, there weren't. There were a few more than that, but let's say 5 at max. There were about 5 chips in there. And I paid like $3 for the bag of chips, and that got me really annoyed. And I realized that big business will always find a way to screw us over. Big business is always going to find a way to make profits. We live in a capitalist society now. It is all about profits and making money. Screw everything else. It's about making money. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I own a business. I own a couple of businesses. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. However, what I'm saying is how you get to those making money, how you get to your profits, might need to have a little finessing, let's say, all right? And we know this. We know that things are expensive. We know, and I see people constantly all the time complaining about the prices at Target and Walmart and Kroger's and Albertsons and all of those places, and Del Taco. But here's the thing. They are really they saw an opportunity and they are taking advantage of it. They are raising the prices because they know that we have no choice. But we do. We do have a choice. Now, our choice is we can stop going to those places. We can boycott them, so to speak. I'm not one of those social justice people where I'm going to be on social media complaining, I just spent $30 at the airport for a Wagyu burger, or $100 for a Wagyu burger at the airport, and I just don't know what's going on with the economy. I'm not that kind of guy. All right, I'm the kind of guy who's like, well, I'm just going to stop going there. And if somebody asks, I'll tell them, but I'm not going to announce it to the world. My way of boycotting, my way of pushing back, shall we say, and it really should be yours too. If you're watching this video, you're probably on the same wavelength and frequency as I am, because you're either a small business, you shop at small businesses, you have friends or family that own small businesses. So let's start really pushing and shopping for small businesses. Start going to your local burger place, start going to your local taco stand. People in California have been complaining because they think that the price of things have gone up because of the $25 salary cap, all right? Like raising salaries up to $25. And that has happened, and it has caused problems for things at McDonald's, Burger King, like all of those places, because the law covers businesses that have more than 60 locations. Your local burger place around the corner doesn't have 60 locations. They barely have 6 employees, let alone 60 locations. So they are exempt from that rule. Now, that's a bad thing in one degree, but on the other side, you can still get really good quality food at affordable prices, and you're going to be helping a local business, your neighbor. You're going to be building community. You are going to be making something better than what you've been doing if you were shopping at Kroger, all right? And then that becomes the other argument. Well, what about Kroger? What about, I can't go grocery shop. Where am I going to go grocery shop? There are plenty of places, and I'm going to stay specifically to Southern California. I mean, I hope this gets to other places, but specifically in Southern California, we have options. There are at least 4 grocery chains that I can think of that, I mean, granted, they're a little bit more culturally based, like 99 Ranch or Stater Brothers or, Northgate Gonzalez. But the prices are where they should be. And here's the kicker. The quality of the food is so much better than you're going to get at something like Albertsons or Safeway or something like that. And for the most part, they're very invested in the community. They give back to the community. They help build the community. They are a corporation or business, and I would say they're a pretty small to medium-sized business that have understood that they need to give back and help the community. So those are the people I'm going to give my money to, because I'm going to be paying fair prices. I'm going to hope that, and I know some people that work at Stater Brothers and they get paid really well. So I'm going to invest in that company. I'm going to help grow that company through my purchasing. All right. And we can all do that. There is a local business to you, many local businesses that you could be frequenting instead of going to a fast food chain or a big corporation. Now, granted, I always come back to this argument too. It's like, yeah, no, there's some things you need to get at Target and some things you need to get at Walmart. Like dish detergent or something like that. I don't know. Toilet paper, paper towels, whatever. But for most part, you can start spending a lot more of your money, your time, and see some value for that money return to you by investing in a small local business. Again, you're helping your neighbor, you're building community, you're getting to know a business. And that's been one of the best things about shopping and participating with smaller businesses, is I really got to know them. I know like the taco place down the street. We know the family, it's like grandma's here today and my brother's in, it's like, I feel invested in the business, and I know that every dollar that I spend helps them make it to another day and makes them more successful tomorrow than they were today. Now, that's only half the battle, all right? The other half is you need to share that. And I'm not saying you have to go on social media. You can, and you probably should talk about it. You know, hey, I had a really great experience at this grocer. I had a really great experience at this burger place. However, you need to tell other people, just like you, your friends, your family. Take people with you. Go there, take your friends, take your family, have them experience the same things that you have so that they can then come back and then they can also share the experience. So kind of what I'm saying in all of this is, if you're really upset about prices, if you really don't want to be spending $30 for a hamburger, there are options, much better options, local options that can help some people in need. Get out there and start buying from a local small business.